Well, hello, lovely humans, and welcome back to the best video I've ever made on this channel. I have the most perfect collaboration for this week's video. I can't even, are you ready for this? This week's video is sponsored by Cricut. I know! If you guys have been around here for longer than a minute, then you know I'm absolutely obsessed with my Cricut. I use it for so many projects and DIYs here on this channel and on my personal channel as well. I just think it is the most unique and incredible little machine that takes all of my DIY and crafting capabilities up like 10 notches. So when they reached out and were like, hey Jamie, you want to do a sponsored video? I was like, okay, sure. Internal screaming. I will do my best to maintain my chill here moving forward, but I make no promises because I love Cricut so much. For this week's video, I'm going to be making a super easy, simple, DIY, Instagrammable moment. Backdrop, photo situation, it's so good. I told you I'm not going to be able to keep it in. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. Now, before we dive into the video, let's talk about why I love Cricut. Because it takes ordinary DIYs and steps them up to a notch of professionalism that I cannot replicate on my own. There are a couple different machines that you can get with Cricut. There's the Maker, there's the Explorer, and then there is the Cricut Joy machine. All of them are absolutely incredible. Now, I personally have the Explorer Air, the Martha Stewart edition. She's cute, she's pearlescent, and I love her very much. It's the most versatile little machine. It cuts so many different things. For the most part, I stick to vinyl and heat transfer vinyl. So vinyl I actually even used on those little DIY dice that I made forever ago to inspire me to create more stuff for you guys more often. Heat transfer vinyl, which I did on the DIY custom denim jacket that just so stinking good. But in addition to vinyl and heat transfer vinyl, you can also cut paper. You can cut cardstock. You can cut cork. And you can cut bonded fabric, glitter paper. It accurately cuts 100 different things. What? I can't accurately cut a single piece of paper. And you can even use a pen to have it handwrite for you. So if your goal is to have the most gorgeous handwritten invitation envelopes, guess what? You can do that on your Cricut machine and fool everyone into thinking you have the most perfect handwriting. They've got pen attachments that you just stick on in there, and then it will write out the most glorious, beautiful looking invitations that look like you hired a calligrapher to do it. I know. Now, having owned my Explorer Air for 3-4 years now, I can tell you that the value on this investment has completely paid off. As I've already mentioned, as you know, I've done a handful of DIYs with my Cricut machine already, but that's not even the full range of what a Cricut machine can help you do. You can make your invitations, you can make your signs, you can make your table numbers, you can personalize all of your wedding party's gifts and just look professional as heck. And on top of all that, you know I'm a huge fan of carrying the theme. So whatever font that you use on your invitations, guess what? You can use that on your signs and on your table numbers. And if you feel fancy enough, you can do it on your personalized gifts as well. I love getting creative with projects for wedding days because I think it's such a unique opportunity to infuse your personality and style into different elements of your wedding day. If you are balling on a budget, and I know so many of you are, then hiring a professional to do some custom work is completely out of your price range. And that is one of the reasons that I absolutely love working with Cricut and working with my Cricut machine, because not only can I not cut a single piece of paper myself, but this machine allows me to create professional quality DIYs at a fraction of the cost. And honestly, with a Cricut machine, the sky is the limit on what you can create for your wedding day. On top of all of this, it's so easy to use. If you guys were around for Vlogmas last year on my personal channel, my family and I actually sat down and created custom sweatshirts for Christmas using my Cricut, and it was so simple and so straightforward that even my children could use it. When it comes to websites and applications, I'm a huge fan of a clean and easy to understand user interface, and that is something that I think that Cricut Design Space, just hits the nail on the head, because not only is the user face super easy and simple to understand that even my children could do it, but they have a whole catalog of fonts and SVG files, so you don't even have to create your own vision from scratch if you don't want to. So as you can tell, I'm a pretty big fan of this machine in general, and now I want to show you just how fancy it is, and yet another Cricut DIY on this channel, but this one's just like a lot more special. So I was perusing Pinterest as one does, looking for creative new crafts, and I realized I have yet to do a wedding banner. But here's the deal, I wanted it to be super special. So I knew when I saw it, I would know. And this sweet little number just literally jumped out of the screen. It's an elopement inspiration banner from La Push, baby. La Push. So how could I not want to recreate this? Just look at it. Just look at it. So I gather up my supplies, starting with a linen drop cloth that I just got from a home improvement store. You can see here that it's just got a great texture and a really great weight to it. I've worked with this product before and I knew it would be perfect. We grabbed the Cricut heat transfer vinyl in black and this nifty little tool called Stitch Witchery because Mama didn't know how to sew, okay? And then a rotary cutter and my Cricut cutting mat. And they sent me a heat press and a pad. I can't. And there she is. Pearl, isn't she beautiful? I can't not watch every time you hit that open button, and it just is, she's so graceful. You've seen this in some of my videos before, but this is what Cricut Design Space looks like. So this is what I was talking about with the user interface, how simple and straightforward it is. One of my favorite features actually about the Design Space is you can upload fonts that you already have downloaded on your computer. So if you've used a specific font with your wedding invitations, you can copy that directly onto your wedding signage. After messing around with the tracking or the letter spacing a little bit, I realized that the T and the H with this particular word weren't exactly going to come together nicely. So what I typically do in this situation is I will actually duplicate that set of letters so it's the same exact size, adjust the letter spacing so those two letters connect, and then reconnect them with the first two letters. Then highlight both text boxes and group them together. And then I duplicate the word once again to create my next word. So again, I'm maintaining the font size without having to resize everything manually. I personally love incorporating a classic serif font with a beautiful handwritten script. I think the two just really pop together. And then turn the dial to iron on because this machine is so smart that it knows exactly what that means. Now it's go time. Thanks, bud. I'd be lying if I said after all these years that I don't just stop and stare at this machine while it cuts because it is really fascinating. It kept my 3-year-old entertained for a whole 4 minutes. Now it's time to measure out my line for where I'll be cutting on the drop cloth, and I went for about 2 feet wide on this one. Also, welcome back to another segment where Jamie goes over the top because her husband's a general contractor and has a bunch of fancy tools. I used a straight edge to draw the line, but you could pencil it or use the side of a cardboard box. And of course, because I don't want to damage my floors, I put the Cricut cutting mat underneath and start cutting along my line with my rotary cutter. And remember that part when I said I couldn't sew? I mean, like, I kind of can, but I don't want to. And I thought the raw edge actually looks kind of cool, so I cut off the seam on the other end. Now's where we make the pocket for the tubing or piping to go through. It's important to measure this part because if you don't get a straight line at the top, your banner could hang crooked. And then I simply just use my iron to give me a nice crease so I know where my line is. Grabbing a nice long piece of stitch witchery that goes from end to end, I simply tear off the section that I need, fold it back over, and follow the instructions, which call for a damp rag and an iron set on a wool setting. And then it's just a quick iron to get all the wrinkles out. These do come heavily wrinkled, and I want my letters to adhere properly. This may arguably be my favorite part of working with Cricut vinyl. I love weeding. There's something so cathartic about it. There's something so therapeutic. Pulling away all of the extra vinyl to reveal this gorgeous design. I can't explain it. It's kind of like watching magic happen, but being a part of it all at the same time. After cutting out all of the words individually, I measured and marked where I wanted these pieces to go. When I brought the decal back, I knew exactly where it needed to go. And because it's pencil, I can erase it afterwards. After moving down the word, making sure to press all of it down in 30-second intervals, I then flip the fabric over and use the easy press on the backside for 15 seconds per section. And now that I have my center word anchored and ironed on, it's time to measure out all of my script and then mark it in place with a pencil. I'm gonna be honest here. I got too excited. I wanted to see how the easy press worked. You guys, wait for it. No way. What? Are you serious right now? He presses game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. I nerded out. I brought my husband over. I explained it all to him. It is a game changer. It's completely different from using an iron. You guys have watched me struggle through using an iron on a heat transfer vinyl project before. Where has this been my whole life? I don't know. Not only does it have an even heat placement throughout the entire surface of it, unlike an iron, but it has a precise temperature gauge on top and a timer, so I don't even have to count in my own head. Handily enough, thanks to that copper DIY arch we did a couple weeks ago, I had the perfect spot to hang this cutie little number. Of course, that needed just a little sprig of greenery to soften it up. And here she is. I am just enamored. I am so thrilled with the results of this. You guys saw, it is so simple. It's so straightforward. And I love how doing something with classic fonts and a little touch of greenery and a nice raw edge has such a timeless feel to it. For this week's video, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. If you are interested in getting a Cricut for yourself, be sure to jump on down there below, click the link in the description box, and thank you so much, Cricut, for sponsoring this video and literally making my day, my month, my year. I am deeply honored. I'm still not over it. I'm not gonna be over it for a long time. This is the most incredible thing. If you like this video, then go on down there and like the video, especially if you want me to bust out the Cricut even more because I love it so very much. And subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks for the modern day bride. And until next week, bye guys!